What up, everybody? What up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of AC Reviews the World. I am your host, AC the Engineer, and we are at episode, I believe it's 111. 111. No, don't mock me because of my dancing. Now, don't mock me because of my dancing. But hopefully, everybody had a beautiful day. It is Monday, January 19th, 2026. And it's just after 6 o'clock. Yes, I did a little later today, a little later. Remember to drink y'all water. Remember to drink your water. Some of y'all do not drink water, and it shows, But hopefully everybody had a beautiful day today. But it is the start of the week. You know that what that means? That means it's time for another of the greatest shows in the world. That's how I feel about it. The greatest show in the world. You ain't got to believe it. You ain't even got to say it, but as long as I know it, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Hopefully everybody had a good day. And today we got 4 crazy topics, of course, that we got to go over. The world is a crazy place and there's a lot of dangerous, crazy people in it. But let's get over into it. You know how I like to do it. Let's jump right into it. And you know how Future say?
Sensational.
Let's have a sensational show today. But the first topic we're going to get over into, we got to go to one of the craziest states in America. And that is Florida. I was just saying the county name, Osceola. I'm not even going to try to say it, but we got to go to a county down in Florida where there is a triple homicide. And just based on some of the reports, it seems like that the suspect used the sanity defense last time and was able to get away with it, or I'm assuming. But let's get over into the more details about this whole situation. But it seems like a crazy situation took place down in Florida. So let's get over into it and see what we can learn from this situation.
That breaking news is down in Osceola County, where there's been an arrest in a triple homicide. West 2's Greg Fox is live in that neighborhood tonight. And Greg, this man has been on law enforcement's radar for years now.
He really has. Ahmad Bojay was arrested back in 2021 for attempted murder after shooting up a convenience store, but he wasn't convicted. I'll explain more about that in a minute as we give you a look now at the neighborhood that's just really opened back up as the sheriff's office crime scene techs have just rolled out of here. There's just a little bit of crime scene tape there now on a patrol vehicle, but it's mostly over. Now, this is the Indian Hill subdivision, number 296 Indian Point Circle. That's where 3 men's bodies were found today. It's also right next door to the home where Bojay was living. While the sheriff's office is providing few details about the shooting deaths of 3 men, neighbors tell us the home was where the murders occurred was frequently used as a rental. In a release earlier tonight, Sheriff Chris Blackman said there is no threat to the community as a suspect in this horrific and senseless collection of murders has been caught and arrested by Osceola County deputies. Here's what one of the neighbors told us.
It's a little concerning. I have a daughter. Thank God she's not here. That's concerning, you know, especially that this individual shot openly in a public area like a gas station for a simple thing as an argument and was released. You know, so it's not surprising. It's scary, but it's not surprising, you know.
More now on the prior arrest. Back in May 2021, Bojay was charged in the wild scene that unfolded at a Wawa convenience store. Shots were fired at random cars. 1 man was injured, but he survived. Bojay was charged with multiple counts, but when the case went to trial the following year, he was acquitted by reason of insanity.
Let's keep going.
A deeper dive into his criminal history reveals mostly small, nonviolent crimes, drug arrests, and so on in Osceola and Orange counties, but nothing to suggest what might motivate someone to commit a triple murder. Again, it's right now not clear what the motive is. It is expected that Bojay will have some type of mental health evaluation given his past history. And we're getting.
I'm sorry if I roll my eyes and that offends somebody. He ended up killing 3 people.
Gathering more information as we get it, and we'll bring it to you when we do. Covering Osceola.
Now let's get over into this next video, see if it gives us any more detail. We're gonna go listen to the sheriff.
So yesterday, January 17th at a little bit after noon, we received some calls from shots fired at the Indian Point subdivision. The address was 296. The victims, the 3 people that were murdered, were staying at a rental property and they were having vehicle trouble. And so they had actually extended their stay waiting on service for this vehicle. The first call we received was at 12:14 p.m. There were shots fired in the neighborhood. Our deputies responded at 12:19. The first deputy was on scene, and upon his arrival, he saw the 3 bodies laying in the yard. He called for more assistance. Other deputies responded. We set up a perimeter, and by 1:13 p.m., we located the suspect inside the address at 298 Indian Point, which is the house next door to where the people were shot. The suspect was arrested eventually and transported to Osceola County Jail, and he was charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder, premeditated murder, and you all saw today he had his first appearance with no bond, so he's being held there. I'll say this, we lost 3 people, which is sad because it's 3 tourists that come here to visit our area. It's cold-blooded, it was premeditated, there was absolutely no issues, there was no conflict between these people. This is just random, and this happened to be the person who lived next door.
Okay, that was a little confusing to me. He said premeditated and random. I'm assuming it's just a random murder.
These guys were the victims, but because our deputies responded so quick, we actually flushed the guy back into his house and kept him out in public because had we not been there were other people out and about that could have been victims as well.
He may premeditated to go onto a strike.
Any idea at this point how long those victims were staying at the house before this happened?
We're still looking into that. I don't know. Typically a rental like that would be a week, but I don't know. I couldn't tell you for sure. We'll know more as we engage in the investigation. We're looking into that right now.
So these were just people who showed up to vacation?
Yes.
Do we know where they came from?
We do. We've made notification to 2 of the family members. We're still trying to locate the 3rd one. I just spoke to our sergeant about that. We're having difficulty locating the next of kin for the 3rd person. So once we get that person notified, we'll make their names available and we'll also tell you where they're from.
Were all the victims related to each other or different?
2 were related and 1 was not.
So what's the one that wasn't that you're still waiting for?
Yeah, we're struggling to find next of. We just found a relative, we think, so we're reaching out to that area's jurisdiction, law enforcement, see if they can contact the family for us.
Any idea at this point what, if anything, precipitated this?
As of right now, we have nothing. It just looks like a random. But again, the investigation, it's ongoing, it's fresh, it's new. We're just a little bit over 24 hours into it, so we're trying to gather the facts so we can give you guys. I don't want to give you bad information, I want to give you good information. So we're going to try to give you better information. And we're going to look at this again Tuesday. Obviously, our office is closed tomorrow, but the detectives are still working through the MLK holiday tomorrow. So as information becomes available through Kim and myself, we'll make it more available to you.
And so where the suspect was found, that was his home where the 3 tourists were at. They were renting out that place.
Correct. And then we did a search warrant on the house where the suspect was at, and we found some stuff in there. That we found 2 weapons there that we're going to make sure, send them off the lab to see if they were actually used in the commission of the crime.
Any other families staying with him at the house? Anybody else?
There was one, but he left the day before.
So he was there alone when this happened?
That's crazy. That's wild. That's a crazy, coincidence. They said that they had one. If you didn't hear it, it will be increased, of course, when we're watching it. But they said that one family member was there and they left the day before. So it could have been a quadruple murder if he wouldn't have left, or he or she.
He left. What's today? Sunday. So it would have been Friday morning. He left Friday, and then the suspect.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I believe we got the gist of it. Let's go over to this next video. Let's see if we can find out more, because they don't have much about the why he did it, or just know it was a triple homicide. But let's hear a little bit more about his previous case.
This isn't the suspect's first arrest. Deputies say he shot up a gas station nearly 5 years ago. That case ended with an acquittal by reason of insanity. New tonight, a man whose car was left riddled with bullet holes that night in 2021 says he's horrified to hear of another shooting. Fox 35's Marie Ettinger is the only local reporter to speak with him. She joins us now live. And Marie, the previous victim says he recognized the suspect's name while watching the news.
That's exactly right, Manny. He had no idea Boja was out on the streets again, and he kept saying how sad this story is. For him, that's in part because he says he could have predicted this might happen again. Lutfula Normatov walked inside a Wawa in April of 2021 and heard gunshots.
It is scary, then it affects me like emotionally, you know.
Normatov says he helped women and children hide inside a storage closet, then went outside to help a man who was on the ground bleeding by the gas pumps.
He shoot 9 times to my car. He shoot the guy like 5 times.
That man incredibly survived, and the Osceola County Sheriff's Office arrested Ahmad Boja for the attempted first-degree murder of that random stranger, plus aggravated battery for the damage to Normatov's car. But in the end, Boja was found not guilty by reason of insanity. That means Boja and his attorney admit he committed the crime, but because of a mental illness, he either didn't understand the consequences or didn't know what he was doing was wrong.
See, I wholeheartedly disagree with. I mean, it's just yes. It's a mental illness. If they are truly mentally ill, I don't know. Should punishment? I don't know if punishment is the right word, but you can't just like if you killed a bunch of people. And crazy or not, you still killed a bunch of people. So I think you need to be locked up maybe in a mental hospital for the rest of your life. You won't be in prison, but you definitely need to be somewhere for the rest of your life under supervision. You can't just be found not guilty and just go about your day like nothing ever happened. At least that's my thinking. But let me know your thoughts. Let's keep going into this.
The statute Florida's Attorney General told Fox 35 he wants changed.
At the end of the day, we need dangerous people, we need murderers, we need violent offenders locked up and away from our children, away from society as long as possible.
The doctor evaluating Boja found at the time of that plea he no longer met the criteria for involuntary commitment to a state mental institution, which requires a substantial likelihood the defendant will inflict serious bodily harm on himself or another person. Attorney General Othmeyer wants a new law to require commitment to a mental institution instead of jail if you plead insanity.
If there's risk of them harming others, we need to ensure they're locked up.
It took Normatov a while to recover after Boja's attack.
I sold my company because I couldn't handle it, you know. So it took me like 6 months to become myself.
He tried to disconnect. He didn't know about Boja's insanity plea until I told him. And he didn't know Boja was out of jail until he saw him on the news, accused of killing 3 men in cold blood.
The person shoots once in the public. Who knows? He's gonna shoot again.
There must be something. There must be something wrong with some of these people. I mean, the people who would just let this go. Come on now. He shot randomly 9 times at people out at a gas station. And then he pleads insanity and was able just to go home. Now they did say that they're working on changing the law, so they are automatically committed right after they plead insanity instead of jail time. But it's a crazy situation. Who is to blame? The judge? The lawmakers? Who is to blame for this?
Boja has had some other criminal charges and convictions over the years. He stole some clothes from a Macy's in 2019. And in 2015, he served a few days in jail and got a 1.5 years of probation for drug charges. But those actually came about because an Osceola County Sheriff's deputy tracked some stolen goods to his home. That deputy said in Boja's arrest report that he was already aware of Boja because he was a suspect in a rash of burglaries, all committed within walking distance of his home, and because he was already on probation for other drug charges. That was while he was 18 years old. Live in Osceola County, Marie Edinger, Fox 35 News.
The world is a crazy place, y'all. The world is a truly crazy place. Now, of course, we got to go to the AI breakdown to see if we missed anything. So 3 out-of-state tourists were shot and killed as described by a random senseless murder. So it happened around 12:13 p.m. All 3 men were tourists who were extended their stay by 1 day due to a rental. 1 day. So here are the names of the victims. We got Robert Lewis Craft, Douglas Joseph Craft, and James John Punknin. If I said the name wrong, I'm very sorry. And he got 70, 68, and 69. Oh, God. Circumstances. So they stated that there was no conflict or prior interaction between the suspect and the victim. So truly random attack. Just like the gas station he shot up years ago. And so the arrest, so I'm not even going to try to say his name, 29, was apprehended shortly after the shooting because his property is right next door. He is currently, what is that? He is currently held in the jail without bond on 3 counts of premeditated murder and 1 count of resisting arrest without violence. And then he has a history, so that was that 2021 attempted murder. He is scheduled for hearing April 2026. It's a crazy world we live in, y'all. It's truly crazy world. Let me know your thoughts on that whole situation, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But we're going to pivot over into the next topic here in a second. But let's, like I said, sorry about that, y'all. Let's pivot over into the next topic we're going to be discussing today. The world is a crazy place, but it's getting crazier. It's getting crazier. We got a wife who ends up, I don't know, it kills her 2 sons, her 2 young children. So let's get over into this video and see what we can find out about this whole situation. You can't even trust your wife with the kids no more. What is happening with the world? What is happening with the world? We got 2 videos, and of course, we're going to do the AI breakdown. But let's get over into it and see what we can find out.
And absolute horror in New Jersey when a father finds his 2 young boys dead at home. Their own mother now charged with murder. Hello, everyone. At 6 o'clock, I'm David Ushery.
I'm Natalie Pasquarello. We do have to begin with that tragedy out of New Jersey. The killing of those 2 young boys who were just 5 and 7 years old. News 4's Charles Watson live in Hillsborough with just a difficult story, Charles.
Yeah, Natalie and David, a terribly difficult story, certainly for the family at the center of all of this, because it was the father who found the deceased bodies of their sons, according to police, and then told authorities that his wife was behind the murders of their innocent 5 and 7-year-old sons.
Now you gotta, I don't know how a husband, well, I mean, how do you if you automatically know that your wife is the killer, how do you even let her around the children?
It's awful. It's just absolutely awful.
Noreen Rogers having a hard time making sense of the shocking murders of 2 brothers ages 5 and 7 inside her community in the Brookhaven Lofts. Even more shocking, police say the boys' mother is responsible for killing them.
I can't imagine how she could do that and what her husband must have, felt when he got home.
The kid's mother, identified as 35-year-old Priya Tharsini Natajaran, now behind bars charged with their murder. Police say it was the kid's father who called 911 Tuesday evening after finding the 5 and 7-year-old boys unconscious in their apartment on Shell Court. The father telling a 911 dispatch operator that his wife did something to the children. When officers arrived on scene, police say they found the young boys unresponsive in the bedroom. Medics attempted to save their lives, but it was too late.
As a mom, I can say it's really very devastating news.
This neighbor, who's also a mother, says she lives on the same street and saw the police presence, but had no idea that a tragedy was unfolding.
It's not, there's a lot of cops, a lot of...
Yeah, a lot of cops over there and medicaps as well. So that's the only thing which we saw. But we didn't know What happened?
The boys were students at Sunnymead Elementary. Hillsborough Public School Superintendent Mike Vogt calling their deaths unfathomable, writing in part in a statement, quote, "Our priority remains the emotional health of our students and staff. Crisis response teams and additional counseling services are on site and will remain available for as long as they are needed." What's mind-boggling to one neighbor who knows the family and asked to remain anonymous is that Natasha Ron seemed to be a good mother who was actively involved in her children's lives, others who live here calling for justice.
I pray for the families of the kids. You know, if she's in jail, that's fine.
Yeah, and the medical examiner's office will perform autopsies to determine the cause of the victims' deaths. As for their mother, she is currently facing 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of third-degree possession of a weapon for unlawful purposes. She's currently being held at the Somerset County Jail.
So I wonder how they didn't mention how they killed. They just said they were unresponsive. So did she feed them some kind of drugs? Hold on, let's hear the charges one more time.
Autopsies to determine the cause. Yeah, and the medical examiner's office will perform autopsies to determine the cause of the victims' deaths. As for their mother, she is currently facing 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of third-degree possession of a weapon for...
Okay, third-degree possession of I'm assuming she gave them some kind of sleeping pills, oversleeping pills. You see these kind of cases with like mothers who intend to kill themselves. She kills the kids first and then she kills herself, but obviously, this is a tragic situation, and I can't imagine how it would feel as the father just walking into seeing this, and the fact that you automatically knew that your wife did something. That seems like a big problem to me, and you should have not left your wife with the kids. I mean, but maybe it's just I don't know. If my mind automatically comes to my wife, I previously knew that she was capable of something like this. But let me know your thoughts. Let's go over to this next video and see what else details we can find out.
We begin with the horrifying new details about that mother in New Jersey, now charged with killing her own 2 sons.
The children's father made the devastating discovery yesterday inside the family's home in Hillsborough. New Jersey reporter Anthony Johnson is live there with the information. Anthony.
Yeah, we just got a copy of the criminal complaint this afternoon. In it, we found out that the mother actually wrote a note saying that she was going to go ahead and kill the 2 kids and then kill herself. Also in the complaint, we found out that she strangled the 2 little boys, and then at that point in time, one of the boys had been dead for hours.
It's very awful. Jesus, I can't believe that.
The mother actually wrote a note saying that she was going to go ahead and kill the 2 kids and then kill herself. Also in the complaint, we found out that she strangled the 2 little boys, and then at that point in time, one of the boys had been dead for hours.
And this is a mother. A mother.
It's very awful. Jesus, I can't believe that. I'm scared. Oh my God.
Pairathasini Nataran is being charged with double murder in the deaths of her 2 young boys, ages 7 and 5. Police said the father of the children arrived at his Shell Court home Tuesday evening and found his 2 children unconscious. He told 911 that his wife had done something to the kids. The idea that a mother would take the lives of her own children has left neighbors on edge.
It's scared, man. Super scared because my son is had 7 years. My daughter is 11 years, so I don't know what happened with the people.
Both children were pronounced dead at the scene. The 35-year-old mother appeared in court this afternoon while students and staff at the Sunnymead Elementary School mourned the loss of the 2 little boys. Their shocking deaths are impacting teachers and classmates, along with those who lived near the family.
Tragedy, and just my thoughts and prayers was with the father and the grandparents, and I just hope he gets some kind of a, understanding of what happened.
Police were wrapping up their investigation this morning. Meanwhile, the superintendent of schools is expressing his concern for the victims, their classmates and teachers, issuing a statement saying There are no words to adequately capture the weight of this tragedy, and our hearts are with the families and the entire Sunnymead community as they grieve. Crisis response teams and additional counseling services are on site and will remain available for as long as they are needed.
This is absolutely crazy. So think about what they said previously, y'all. They said that the mother wrote a note saying that she was going to kill her sons and herself. And then she ended up. I keep feeling like I heard it wrong, but she said strangled her two kids. Then what? She was going to take some people. Or was she never truly thinking of ending her own life? And this was just a way to think about her defense. Because, see, y'all got to remember that now. Because all this now is all about how the defense is going to try to play it to the jury. Oh, she was very distraught. She was going through a mental health crisis. She was in the act of killing herself when she killed her kids, but then she couldn't kill herself. They're going to try to spin it like that. Now, I don't know. Well, we might get some more details saying why she didn't end up killing herself. But right now it's looking like she only said that for like the defense. Because strangling your kids, I've seen a lot of, y'all know, y'all this is AC Reviews the World. We've seen a lot of stuff. And I've never seen or talked about where a woman who killed her kids, it wasn't like a violent death. That strangulation is violent. She wanted them dead. At least that's my thinking.
It's actually very sad about that. As a mom, I can say it's really very devastating news. And but we don't know what's going over there, what happened exactly. We don't know. We have no clue about that.
She is 100% correct. We got to wait for more details to come out because right now we're just inferring on stuff that we've heard and just making our educated guesses.
As we said, the mother was in court this afternoon, charged, of course, with murdering her two kids and weapons possession. She's expected to be back in court next week. But everybody that's out here living in this complex is wondering why a mother would do this to her two young children.
Yes, she pleads not guilty. Not guilty. Let's go over to the AI breakdown and see if we got any more details. I'm not even going to try to say that name. But the 35-year-old woman from Hillsborough, New Jersey, has been arrested and charged with first-degree murder of her two sons, ages 5 and 7. So they were discovered on January 13, 2026. The child's father returned from home at approximately 6:45 p.m. and found his sons unconscious in a bedroom. He called 911. The first responders attempted life-saving measures, but both children were pronounced dead at the scene. Charges. So they faced 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of third-degree possession of a weapon for unlawful purposes. A not guilty plea was entered on her behalf during a virtual hearing on Wednesday, January 14th. She is currently held at the jail pending a detention hearing scheduled for tomorrow. So the detectives recovered a handwritten note addressed to her husband during a search of the home. While the medical examiner is working to determine the exact cause of death, prosecutors have explicitly stated that the mother caused the deaths. So as of no specific motive for killing has been released. So she did have a note. So let's see what are the reports on See, I already know I spelled that wrong, so I don't want to hear anybody's mouth. So what are these reports on strangulations? While the official cause of death is pending, an autopsy by the medical examiner, court documents, and police reports from the mid-January from the case indicates that the sons ages 5 and 7 were killed by strangulation. The following details regarding the strangulations were released in an affidavit. Let's see, probable cause. So physical evidence, investigators found multiple ligature material in, what is that? Did I say that right? Materials inside the home. One of the boys reportedly had a visible ligature mark on his neck that was consistent with strangulation. According to the affidavit, the boys appeared to have been dead for several hours before the father found them. The children's father told police that the mother confessed to killing before he discovered the bodies. Additionally, detectives recovered a handwritten note in the home where she allegedly detailed her plans to kill the children and herself. But why didn't she kill herself? They're not even going to have an answer to this. Why didn't she kill herself? Does anybody saying anything? While police reports and probable cause confirmed that she planned to take her life, they do not state exactly why she did not follow through with the attempt before taking into custody. Absolutely crazy situation, y'all. Crazy situation. I can't imagine. So it sounds like the husband, she confessed to killing her kids to the husband. And he came home, found them. That's why he was like, okay. He called the police, said my wife did something crazy. Or he didn't say those exact. Oh, I'm interpolating. So that's definitely not the right word. But y'all are gonna kill me in the comments anyway. It's a crazy situation, y'all. Absolutely crazy. I would like to know from her own words why she didn't go through with it. But she's just gonna say she was scared, she couldn't do it. But the real question is, was it just a ruse to kill her children? I would hate to believe that. But just the fact of the cause of death, what people are saying, the strangulation, I don't know. It's hard for me to believe that a mother who was who wanted to kill her kids and then kill herself would do it by strangulation. We'll have to do a deep dive into this to see what more information we can get out of this. But this is a crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on this and let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's pivot over into the next topic we're going to be discussing today. And we got to go to New Jersey. We got to go to New Jersey, where it looks like a vehicle crashed into a New Jersey home and ended up killing a couple. That's something unimaginable, like some cartoon stuff. You're sitting in your home, minding your business, and a car flies through the wall and kills you and your wife. Crazy. Let's get over into this and see what we can find out about this whole situation. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Developing now, tragedy in Gloucester County, where a community is mourning the loss of a longtime high school coach and his wife, both killed after their car crashed into a home in Mullica Hill. The cause of the crash is still being investigated. As our Ellen Koloje reports, their deaths have shaken up a close-knit community.
Okay, see, I was confused. So it looks like their vehicle crashed into a home and they died. Okay, that's still a tragic situation, but let's keep going.
So many students and parents and residents here in Mullica Hill are remembering a beloved high school coach who meant so much to so many people.
He was a hard-nosed coach, but he saw something in me I didn't even see in myself. So it was real special. He told me to work hard.
When Jimmy Owens heard the news that his former basketball coach had died, he was devastated.
It's personal because he taught me so much.
72-year-old Thomas Hengel and his wife, Lisa, both died after their SUV crashed into this house on Banff Drive in Mullica Hill about 6 o'clock Saturday night. Harrison Township police say the vehicle quickly accelerated, hit a curb, then crossed over 2 lawns before slamming into the home's living room, causing the car and most of the house to go up in flames. No one in the house was injured.
It's heartbreaking, especially like him and his wife. So, and it hits home. Like, you know, it's a small community, so I think everybody just touched everybody.
It's just a horrible situation. Thank God there was no one in the house, but
just for the school, it's just such a sad time.
We're told Hengel currently coached girls track and field at Clearview Regional High School, but had coached basketball and both boys and girls track and cross country for decades. He was inducted into the Gloucester County Sports Hall of Fame in 2018, as seen here on their Facebook page. And former students say he taught so many life lessons with a fierce guidance that extended far beyond just sports.
And also with my work ethic, I've been in business for like 30 years, and I instill that into my employees every day. Work hard, stay consistent, be great, be the best you can be every day.
Jimmy Owen says he and many others taught their own children what Coach Hengel taught them, and his legacy will live on.
Well, he instilled a lot in a lot of people, not just myself, but he's going to be greatly missed.
In Mullica Hill, New Jersey, Ellen Collodi.
It's a very tragic situation. Very tragic situation. Let's get over into this next video, see if it gives us any more details.
Now to new details on a story we first brought to you as breaking news last night at 11. We are learning the 2 people killed when an SUV crashed into a home in South Jersey where a retired high school track and field coach and his wife. NBC 10's Kelsey Kushner spoke to neighbors and friends of the couple about this heartbreaking loss.
Tonight, we are learning that that coach was a legendary coach at Clearview High School. But tonight, neighbors are mourning the loss of their friends. You can see that the house is still boarded up. There are tire tracks in the front yard from when that crash happened yesterday. Neighbors say that there was a family inside this home at the time of the crash, but they are not injured. And tonight, people have been sharing memories and stories. Neighbors talking to us about their friends, the coach and his wife. They say that this is a heartbreaking loss for the community.
Shocked, really a sad tragedy.
Shock and heartbreak in Mullica Hill as neighbors learn a retired high school coach and his wife were killed in a violent crash just steps from their home.
Everyone loved him. He was a fixture at the school.
Thomas Hengel spent decades coaching track and cross country for Clearview High School. In 2018, he was inducted into the Gloucester County Sports Hall of Fame. Harrison Township police say around 6 Saturday evening, the retired coach was driving a Hyundai along Banff Road with his wife Lisa in the passenger seat. For reasons still under investigation, police say the car suddenly accelerated, jumping a curb, racing across their front yard, and crashing into the next-door neighbor's living room. Within moments, neighbors like Inga Rinaldi say everything was on fire.
And there it was, just this fire, smoke all over the place, and then just a parade of fire engines, cop cars, an ambulance here and there.
Police say the family inside the house managed to escape unharmed, but Thomas and Lisa died from the crash.
They're really good neighbors.
Neighbor Mike Miseraco lives across the street, now facing a view he says is impossible to process.
It's just unfortunate that it happened, what happened, and it's horrible for us and my kids and wife to look across the street and see like 2 empty homes right now. When yesterday morning it was full of life in both lots. Now it's empty.
Police say this crash investigation is still ongoing. They're still working to figure out what exactly caused the car to accelerate so quickly. In Mullica Hill, Kelsey Kushner, NBC 10 News.
It's a crazy situation no matter how you look at it. We just got to pray for them. Hopefully they find out why he actually crashed. Might have been a heart attack. We don't know what could have happened, but we just got to pray. Seems like he was a good dude and everybody loved him. This just goes to show you that you never know when the time can be your last. You never know. So live each day you can to the fullest. It's a crazy situation, y'all. Let's pray for the family. It's tragedy. Now, it wasn't what I expected because I thought I read it too fast. I must have read it too fast. I thought the car plowed into a home and then that car killed some. But still, no matter what we say, it's a tragic situation and we got to pray for him. But let's go over into the last topic we're going to be discussing today. And this last topic is a doozy. The case of Malinda Hoagland. I think that's how you say her name, but it's a tragic case. We're gonna get over into this. It looks like a father has been found guilty for killing his 12-year-old daughter. Now, this happened a year ago when all this case brought to light. So let's get over it. We're going to go back. The first video we're going to look at is back a year ago for when we first heard about it. And then we're going to watch the video of him being sentenced or him getting guilty, getting the guilty verdict. See, I'm messing up my words a little bit, but let's get over into this case and see what we can learn from it. It's a tragic situation. Let's get over into it.
Now to part 2 of an exclusive CBS News Philadelphia investigations report, the murder of 12-year-old Malinda Hoagland.
The Chester County child died last month after prosecutors say her father and his girlfriend tortured and starved Malinda for months.
Our investigative team worked on gathering information for weeks on suspects Rendell Hoagland and Cindy Warren. Here's Chief Investigative Reporter Joe Holden.
Ms. Warren, what about Malinda? Prosecutors say you tortured and starved her to death. Is that true? We caught up with Cindy Warren at an unrelated court hearing just yesterday and tried to ask her about the death of Malinda Hoagland. Do you want to say anything at all in your defense?
I'm not here for that.
I'm here for it.
I'm glad you are.
Protective measures were in place to keep 12-year-old Malinda Hoagland away from Cindy Warren. This 2020 custody order we obtained spelled it out in black and white. Quote, the minor child shall not be left in the care of Cindy Warren, father's fiancé, for any period of time exceeding 1 hour unless expressly agreed upon by mother and father through written communication. According to police, Malinda was living with Rendell Hoagland, her father, and his girlfriend, Cindy Warren. And according to lawyers for the family, this was in violation of the custody order.
We knew that something had gone terribly wrong.
Alexandria Crothamel and Tom Bosworth are attorneys representing Malinda's estate, as well as Malinda's 3 older half-sisters.
Monroe County was already cued in to the fact that she was living with Malinda and that she had this history.
This history, attorney Tom Bosworth is referring to Cindy Warren's guilty plea all the way back in 2007 for felony child endangerment for the abuse of her 3-year-old child in Monroe County. Dressed in black, this is Warren leaving court in 2007. She was sentenced to 3 to 7 years in jail for endangering the 3-year-old. At the time in 2007, Warren was married to a man named McKinley Warren. He was charged in a completely separate cold case from the year 2000, where prosecutors say he beat his 2-year-old daughter, Jessica Bach, to death. McKinley Warren.
Hold on. This is a lot of information. So you mean to tell me the girlfriend got a thing for like child beaters or child killers? What is happening here? Let's keep going.
Pleaded guilty and was given 50 years in prison. Only weeks ago, the district attorney in Monroe County took to Facebook saying the courts had removed children from Cindy Warren's custody following the death of 2-year-old Jessica Bach, a death she was not charged in connection with. Mike Mancuso spoke with me over Zoom about similarities with the case in Chester County and how in his post he wrote, Cindy Warren had an ability to hide her conduct from social workers back then. Chester County investigators said Warren and Hoagland secluded Malinda from mandated reporters and others who would have been able to help.
I'm sure everybody involved in that line of work is regretting perhaps not taking more action to ensure that that the child was somebody had eyes on that child and what was going on.
I wonder. So the custody, they said that was against the custody agreement. So, well, I wonder where her mother was. Did the mother lose custody and that's why she had to stay with the father? But then the father's not allowed to have the girlfriend. This is crazy.
2020, Warren would meet Rendell Hoagland and his daughter Malinda. Sometime in 2022, police say the couple moved with Malinda to Chester County. Despite that 2020 custody order, which severely restricted Cindy Warren's contact with Malinda, the 12-year-old lived with Cindy Warren, along with her father and one of Cindy Warren's children, until her death last month, according to police. Our investigation and information from documents, records, and interviews revealed missed red flags, from a custody order to reports from Malinda's middle school to Child Protective Services.
I don't know of a case with more of a monumental breakdown in communication and protection in Pennsylvania when it comes to child abuse than this case.
Arrest papers for Hoagland and Warren indicate Malinda was pulled out of North Brandywine Middle School in November. She was eventually withdrawn from the Coatesville School District on January 3rd. CBS News investigations obtained these school records showing Malinda had so-called illegal absences dating back more than a year. Last month, the school district released a statement to the CBS investigators about Malinda's death. Quote, "Our staff diligently reported concerns about her welfare to the state agency that receives and manages concerns. Shortly thereafter, she was withdrawn from our schools." Sources close to the investigation confirmed Chester County Children, Youth, and Families was notified by the school district. And in statements he allegedly made to police in connection with his arrest for attempted homicide, Rendell Hoagland admitted CYF contacted him by phone only and never came to the house.
And this is
no one looks after the children. We talked about this in that crazy case in Charlotte. They do the bare minimum. Some say that the social workers have too many mouths, too many children to look after, too many caseload, and I can understand that. But something got to be done. You can't. I don't know if it was just a miss because they had too many caseloads, too many children to look after, just a miss because they didn't care. But something has to be done to look after the children. Too many bad people who aren't supposed to be with the children are with them, and then the people who are supposed to look after them don't do it. Absolutely crazy.
Systemic, humiliating abuse of a child that that professionals who are here to protect kids could and should detect through a home visit, and that's why we have home visits. There were these calls from the school, all of these red flags, and so thinking about that court order, it was kind of eerie to read it, given what's happened.
Once Malinda was withdrawn from public school in January, Hoagland allegedly told investigators she enrolled in cyber school, but police wrote in an affidavit of probable cause requesting the arrest for attempted homicide last month. Other than logging in for school Zooms and likely seeing friends, Hoagland said he couldn't provide details of any interactions Malinda had outside the home after January. Attorneys for the family say given the custody order, Warren's history of a child endangerment conviction, and calls to CYF, there should have been follow-up by Child Protective Services.
This should have never happened. There shouldn't even be a discussion about how many missed opportunities there were here. If we go the way we're going with this system in place, there's going to be another Malinda Hoagland.
A spokesperson for Chester County Children, Youth, and Families wrote in a statement that there is profound sadness with this case, quoting, "As required by law, CYF has convened a review team and an official report reflecting the findings will be developed. Due to the confidential nature of child protection cases such as this, we cannot comment further on any aspects of Malinda's case." Sources do tell us charges against Rendell Hoagland and Cindy Warren will soon be upgraded to murder. Attorneys for the pair declined to comment.
This is one of the worst, not the worst, one of the worst cases I've seen about the CPS not doing their job. And because of that, the child has died. But let's get over to, remember, this was a year ago. So let's get over to the father has finally been sentenced. The jury has sentenced him guilty, has ruled guilty against him. So let's get over to that.
Well, now to a story that CBS News Philadelphia has been following for 2 years now. The search for justice for 12-year-old Malinda Hoagland, the little girl who died back in 2024 after months of starvation and abuse. And now her father has entered a plea that spares him the death penalty.
Our Joe Holden was in court today in Chester County and joins us live now. Joe?
Quite the hearing, Yuki and Natasha. In fact, Malinda Hoagland's half-sisters and family handing out these blue ribbons before the hearing. Blue was...
It makes me a little... we're not going to stop it too much, but it makes me a little disappointed. I guess I wouldn't even give him a plea in the first place. Don't give him the opportunity to plea. Cause this is a death penalty case, so let the car, because it's absolutely.
Linda's favorite color. Prosecutors say despite being tortured and starved at home, this little girl was a straight A student. Rendell Hoagland was emotionless as he pleaded guilty. One family member told the court that she hoped he met evil worse than him in prison. Rendell Hoagland pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and conspiracy for his admitted role in the murder of his daughter, Malinda Hoagland. In court, Chester County prosecutors detailed the severe, repeated beatings, starvation, and torture of the 12-year-old. They say it spanned years. The torment was captured on surveillance cameras. Detectives say Hoagland and his partner, Cindy Warren, had installed inside their Coatesville area home. On May 4th, 2024, Malinda was rushed to Paoli Hospital. Prosecutors say Hoagland first told police Malinda got hurt after falling off her bike. When arriving at the ER, Malinda was unconscious and emaciated, weighing only 50 pounds. Malinda's half-sisters, who say they were kept from her, wanted to put this day behind them.
It's very heavy, but it's a part of the puzzle that we need to complete in order to get justice for Malinda.
Hoagland's guilty plea spares him the death penalty. He'll be in prison for the rest of his life without the possibility of parole. Cindy Warren has pleaded not guilty and is scheduled for trial later this spring. The couple was accused of removing Malinda from school in late 2023 and enrolling her in a cyber charter academy. Prosecutors say in early 2024, Hoagland and Warren ramped up their abuse. Lawsuits since filed on behalf of the family accused Chester County children, youth, and families of failing to follow up on red flags after Malinda withdrew from school. The agency has said it won't comment on pending litigation. Malinda's half-sisters say it is their prayer no family ever has to go through the pain and trauma this has caused.
We hope to never be here ever again, and if there ever were another family, we'd be individuals willing to stand with them.
Attorneys for Rendell Hoagland told me outside the courthouse that he has accepted responsibility for what happened. His guilty plea carries no condition of having to testify against his partner, Cindy Warren. One final note. Prosecutors brought up the fact that while Malinda Hoagland was being tortured and starved at home, she often wrote thank you notes and notes of love to cafeteria workers. They say were providing Malinda with cartons of milk and applesauce. That's something prosecutors say was likely the only sustenance Malinda was receiving.
They shouldn't have gave him a plea. He needed to. You know, you mean to tell me the little girl, 12 years old, was writing thank you notes to the cafeteria workers because that's the only people who are feeding her? I'm happy that the girlfriend is going through trial, pleading not guilty. That way she can get the full maximum of the penalty, of the punishment. This is a crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Let's go over to the AI breakdown just to finish it up to see what else we can find out or anything else. So on May 4th, 2024, they called 911 and falsely claimed that she crashed her bicycle into a tree, and they found her emancipated, weighing only 50 pounds and covered in roughly 75 bruises and ulcers. She died at the hospital that evening from starvation and blunt force trauma. The investigation shows that Malinda was subjected to horrific abuse, including being ankle shackled to the furniture like an air hockey table, forced to perform intense physical exercises for hours, and denied food. The defendants used home camera system to monitor and berate Miranda through speakers, even when they were not in the room. This is her father. One of them was her father. The defendant uses, Malinda was a straight A student, but was removed from in-person school in November 2023 to attend a cyber school, which investigators believe was an attempt to hide her injuries. So they said that Randall, he's pleaded guilty to first-degree murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy, and he is sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. So that's a little, I like that, no possibility of parole, plus an additional 30 to 60 years. His plea deal allows him to avoid the death penalty. So he just has to stay alive in prison for the rest of his life. And then Cindy, she has pleaded not guilty and remains in custody without bail. Her trial is set for June 8th, 2026. Prosecutors are currently seeking the death penalty in her case. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Absolute systematic failures. So we got a lawsuit. So Malinda's half-sisters have filed a lawsuit against the Chester County Child, Youth, and Families, and the area school district, alleging that multiple agencies failed to intervene despite clear warning symbols. Yes, when you don't even do a home visit, you failed. You failed the child. And the Malinda law, her family is advocating for the legislative changes in Pennsylvania, including creation of a public database to track child abuse offenders, similar to Megan law for sex offenders. Absolutely crazy, y'all. The world, look after your kids. And anybody who messes with kids need to have to face the hardest punishments available. It's a crazy situation, y'all. But we have to find out, we have to see what happens with Cindy. See how her thing, because she's pleaded not guilty and they're going for the death penalty. So let's see if they get her the death penalty. It's a crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Absolutely crazy. But that is it for the show today, y'all. Thank you for watching now. Thank you for watching later. We talked about a lot of crazy things, but if you disagree with anything I said, please let me know. Leave a comment. Let's talk about it. Let's have a discussion. The world is a crazy place, but we have to review the world together. Remember, y'all, to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you can be up to date on all the videos. You know, you can say, if you ever want me to review anything, send it over to my email. It's acreviewstheworld. Remember, acreviewstheworld, a dot after the A and a dot after the C, at gmail.com, y'all. But that is it, y'all. Thank you for watching. Remember, that is episode 111. And we had a beautiful show. But that is it for today, and I will see y'all tomorrow at 6 or 7. We'll see how it turns out. But you know we are here Monday through Friday, starting between 6 and 7. Always. We cannot miss. That's it for now, y'all. Y'all already know I gotta play that outro. Peace.